You may not know it, but every sim has something in common. No, I'm not talking about specific cars or tracks, and definitely not physics. Not even the way force feedback feels between sims. I am, of course, talking about the chaotic fucking mess that happens in any open lobby. Okay, maybe not in R-Factor 2 because, you know, dead multiplayer. But, have you seen any online race in ACC? Do you notice what happens in any lower safety license iRacing session? Hell, my first memories of playing Assetto Corsa and Project Cars 2 are tainted, traumatic even, with the way people treated each other in online lobbies. I promise, the amount of hostility 100% broke the Geneva Convention. The way these open lobbies happen are all the same. They lure you with promises of close racing and destroy you with, well, destruction. For this video though, I'm going to focus on the online experience for ACC, so let me take you through a typical online lobby race. It all begins with a decision. What car do I want to drive? You'll ask yourself, while still denying the fact that the only populated servers are at Spa and Monza. After deciding to join the same server you were in the day before, you're once again faced with another decision. You gotta choose a car to drive. Much like the first decision though, it's not much of one, you're just gonna choose the same car you always drive. Your main, if you will. By the way, you can tell a lot about a person by the car they main. If they main a Porsche, a Bentley, or an Audi, you know they're a tryhard. If they main the Jaguar or the V12 Aston Martin, you know they're a psychopath. Now, once you reluctantly hit the connect button, the first thing you'll notice is that you forgot to check what session the server was in, so you ended up joining a race in progress that still has 7 minutes left to go. It doesn't matter though, this means you have time to either find a new server, or get up, stretch, mentally prepare yourself for manic attempts at close racing, and second guess your decision making while contemplating selling your rig. I'm just kidding, we all know you want to upgrade. Now that you're warmed up, stretched up, wound up, and ready to go, it's right about now you see the extreme profanity in the in-game chat from guy number 1 directed at guy number 2. From the sheer volume of insults, you'd think that guy number 2 committed horrible atrocities that even war criminals would be horrified by. But once you scroll up, you realize that guy number 2 broke a little too early for turn 1, causing a light tap on the bumper from guy number 1. So yeah, pretty much a war crime. Anyway, the practice session goes well, much to your surprise, and then you see you're 4th on the leaderboard. You don't want to get your hopes up though, because there could be some people sandbagging, and an alien might show up in the last half of qualifying and put the car on pole, 1.8 seconds clear of P2, simultaneously crushing all hopes and dreams of everyone beneath them. Qualifying rolls around, and after a few setup changes, you're ready. You take a deep breath, hit the drive button, the invisible mechanics drop your car off the jacks, and the engine fires up. As you start driving down the pit lane, your hands start to sweat. You get a couple butterflies floating around in your stomach because you're reminding yourself it's important to set a fast lap, since starting in the midfield means certain unavoidable colossal death in turn 1. You exit the pit lane and promptly realize you forgot to put in qualifying fuel. You return to the pits to put only a few laps worth of fuel in. This is a vicious cycle that gets the best of us. Now that you're actually on track and you have the right amount of fuel, confidence is high. You're ready to do this. And then you promptly get blocked by traffic on every single attempt at setting a lap. Flustered, frustrated, and slightly infuriated, you realize you now only have time to complete 1 lap, and that's the one that you just started. You're nervous. You can't screw it up. Turn 1 comes, you nail the braking zone and get on the throttle early. Turn 2 is okay, but it's not bad by any means. Since you haven't set a lap yet, you have no idea if this is a fast one or not, but you're in the zone and in complete harmony with the car. You nail the 2nd sector, and towards the middle of the 3rd sector, you start to realize that this is a good lap. You become nervous again, and make a slight mistake in the last corner, but you did it. 1 lap without traffic. You're coming down the pitch straight with confidence. You know this is a great lap for you. You cross the line. P6? Anyway, now it's race time. Because of the fuel fiasco you had in qualifying, you put enough fuel for the race right away, while constantly second-guessing the amount you put in is actually enough to finish the race. Right about now is when you're just kind of sitting there, waiting for the countdown to finish so you can begin the formation lap. The countdown usually isn't too long though, just enough time for you to get up and take a leak, run back into the room, and frantically hit the drive button with 3 seconds left on the clock. You hear the cars around you roar to life, the formation lap starts, and now you're thinking about how to approach turn 1. You decide to play it safe and avoid any incidences at all cost, as you actually want to be competitive this time. Right when the lights go green, you floor it. Not the best start, but it'll do, better than the guy behind you, and that's what matters. The braking zone for turn 1 is fast approaching. You hit your mark and it happens. You rear end the guy in front of you. "He broke so early!" you exclaim, as you contemplate whether or not to go to the pits for repairs or just continue to see where you end up. Ultimately though, it doesn't matter, since you'll be battling through backmarkers who think they're in a game of Mario Kart as opposed to a sim, and you'll be tossed around harder than a rock perfect for skipping. I was gonna make a porn star joke, but it didn't fit quite right.
Heyo!
The rest of the race is spent driving in anger as you see a flurry of messages in the in-game chat calling you many, many different names and obscenities. But you think better of responding to it because, hey, you're still in the race. And you promptly finished P13. Once you're back in the pits recovering from a hefty race of bumper cars, you scroll through the in-game chat and you're slightly appalled at the sheer volume of insults hurled at you. You'll think to yourself, geez, it was his fault. He broke so early. He's acting like he committed a damn war crime. So because of that, after you leave the server, you vow to stop racing in open lobbies, and that you might want to try to find a league where you think there's at least some form of standards. But a few minutes later, you're right back to looking for a new lobby, and the cycle starts again. Isn't online racing beautiful?